Hi there. Have you ever felt like you've gotten a spiritual nudge? Or maybe you received something that felt like a message for you? Maybe this was around a problem you've been trying to solve, or should you take this opportunity that just sort of fortuitously opened up in front of you? Or maybe it's the bigger picture of life, like what are we here for? What are you here in this life to do? Maybe this nudge or this message showed up in your journaling, or perhaps in your dreams. Or maybe it was a really interesting synchronicity, or maybe it felt like it was just an answer to prayer. My name is Mary Jo, and for me, I have come to believe that these nudges and these messages are information and communication that come from beyond our own wisdom. And they're meant to help guide us on our journey, or perhaps sometimes for us to help somebody else on their own journey. If we were to kind of think about these nudges and these messages as being a spectrum, like a big arc of ways to receive information, then channeling to me would be part of this whole energy spectrum. Channeling in its very simplest definition is simply being a conduit or a bridge for information. It feels somewhat similar to me to the way that we use Reiki energy. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, a Reiki master, and when I think of Reiki energy and I'm describing it to people, what the experience may feel like for them, I consider that this energy, this Reiki energy, is not my energy. It's not the individual's energy that I'm working with, but it's a higher energy, such as source or a divine energy or higher consciousness. And as a practitioner, I am simply being a conduit for this energy. It flows through me to the person that I'm working with. Feels very much the same for me with channeling. Channeling is allowing higher wisdom, not my wisdom, not the wisdom of the person that I'm working with, but this higher wisdom to flow through me to the person that I'm working with. And it could be information or encouragement or comfort or guidance for the journey. If you have felt these sort of nudges or these messages and you've been wondering what to do with them, or you want to gain more practice, or you want to join a community of people who are doing this work, then you might want to check out some of the classes that I offer around this. And so Channeling 1 is the first class in the series, and it's just called The Art of Channeling, Connection to Higher Dimensional Wisdom. And it's very much focused on how we bring in information for ourselves, how we channel or hear messages for our own lives, for our own journeys. I believe that each of us has the ability to access higher dimensional wisdom. For some, it might be through a connection to your soul. For others, it might be through a guide or a helper, perhaps like an angel or something like that. There's a lot of ways to hear and to receive this information. And in this class, we discuss a lot of these and practice in many different ways. Channeling 2 is titled Channeling for Others, aligning your frequency, your heart, and identity as a bridge for higher dimensional wisdom. And because the name talks about it, it is really designed and focused on channeling or receiving information and giving that information in some way to others. This class is to help designed to grow your voice. And again, we have lots of practice time, and we come at it with an understanding and an acknowledgement that there is not just one way to connect and to channel, and that every person that comes to these classes is unique. And then after Channeling 1 and Channeling 2, there are optional weekly sessions that help participants integrate the material, dive deeper and have a chance to practice. And we have a strong and growing community of channelers for those who wish to connect and work with others and practice with others in this way. One of the things that has really interested me over the time from looking at the people who have taken these classes has been the wide level of experience and ways that people experience this information. And yet participants at all sorts of levels of experience and all different ways of hearing and receiving information have shared with me how these classes have helped them grow. And so I pulled a couple of comments from some of the testimonials that have been given to me just to share with you and give you some idea of what others have said about this class. So first, this class was fun, easy to follow, and definitely effective in connecting to higher wisdom. I gained new perspective and learned useful tools for my personal practice of channeling. Mary Jo is authentic, kind, and provided a non-judgmental, safe space to learn and practice. That feels really important to me. This is meant to be a very safe space for all of us to be able to, again, bring our own unique experiences to it, to learn from each other, and to be able to get feedback and to provide feedback in ways that are helpful to everyone in the class. Loved how everything you discussed and offered in our binders was accessible and graspable. And then finally, I received so much clarity and truly felt that the class allowed me to come home to myself and further tap into my abilities. If you're getting these nudges or messages that I mentioned at the beginning, you're already open to becoming a conduit or bridge because you're already connected. If you're ready to dive in deeper, I hope you'll check out our upcoming class.